Hey, this is Timmara, signing on what will probably be the final part of the council. So, last time we went through like a little ethereal mindscape that Gregory had made. God, that manuscript is not going to help me at all now. Okay, last time we went through this like ethereal mindscape of Gregory's making, and when we finally found him, well, talking to the spirits of Sarah and Emily, and doing some puzzles, meeting their father, who had taken over the body of Elizabeth. Basically, in the end, I sided with Mortimer still, and he devoured the soul of Holm. I don't think it would matter if we talked to anybody. I think we should just join Mortimer. Holm is dead. Mortimer has potentially grown more powerful, and he's ready to close off this whole meeting. So,
right. Now
we'll see how
this
this ends.
Join Mortimer. I won't be able to go back after.
No, if we got a choice. Okay, let's just go up. Let's look around. Can we talk to somebody? Can we get some ideas? I was thinking about it, but maybe something can be gained. Bonaparte, I suppose. Nope. I don't know if we can even talk to anybody. I'm just curious. Good boy. Nope. I can only imagine everyone else's room is locked. Unless, except for, well, let me, hang on. I'm curious about something. Let's check. Going by Piaggi's room. This is the only room open. I'm just curious. Sorry, I'm wasting some time looking around. What are the possible final things that could change? The only two people I'm really suspicious of right now are... Just wanted to see if there was anything in this room at all. Seemingly no. No, because I wonder if we can go into Elizabeth's room, because that's where we got the projection, where we, you know, at least where we kind of saw the being that was taking over her body. Nope. Or that tower room. I bet this is where Mortimer wants us to go to end this all, because we have not been in there yet. No, that's where we saw, you know, Elizabeth is being controlled by... well, it was possessed by their Holmes and Mortimer's father. That being said, well, we can go in there. I don't know if the room's empty or there's anything we can find there. Just curious. And the other guy I'm still suspicious of is Woolner. He seems to know a lot more than he knows a lot, but he seems to know a lot more, even somewhat a little bit about this. And is apparently the son of Gregory. As far as we know, he gave off the impression at one point. So I don't know if that goes anywhere or anything can be gained from that.
June 11th.
Okay, just the same letter says before. Maybe there was nothing.
My dear Elizabeth.
Okay. I'm just curious. Let me out. Because we also refused the offer from... Holmes and Mortimer's father, so I wonder if wrath will happen, especially now that one of his sons is dead. What's this guy looking for?
What are you doing?
Oh, Monsieur Volner asked me to prepare his belongings in anticipation of his imminent departure, sir.
His departure? So quickly?
Oh yes, he seemed to be in rather a hurry.
Ah, very well. Would you know where I might bump into him one last time?
Ah, if sir would like to say goodbye, sir will find him in his room.
Thank you.
Okay, so there was a lead. Well, nah. I wish to mock you. So, I don't know. What are the chances he's also a demon? Because...
Johann,
Louis, I haven't the time.
what are you doing?
I'm getting out of here, what do you think? And going as far away as possible. Sir Gregory is dead. And in case you haven't grasped it yet, I am no longer safe here. If you value your life, you had better do the same.
Hey, wait a
No,
second. What do you...
no, I haven't time. Good luck in the future.
Okay, that was brief. Yeah, that hint, that says to me, why does he feel unsafe after all this? Because he's a demon. He's gotta be. There were hints at it. If he's Gregory's son, yeah, he would be a demon by proxy. And therefore, also he said something weird. I can't remember now because it's been a few days. But I can't remember. He said something weird when you go over to his mind. When the whole Etherscape started up originally. So, that's my theory anyways. And I'm just curious if there's anything else in here. Probably not, but I've checked all the rooms. Like, now that I think about it, actually some of the more, some of the imagery of Zeus and Kronos are starting to make a lot of sense now. Mortimer, in this case, could see himself as Zeus, and maybe his father is the next target, aka Kronos. Okay, get to the dining hall from here. Okay, things are coming together in certain ways. Will you run into anybody else? Can't find anybody else unless they're all locked in their room and Walner is just trying to leave. I know what I'm doing. Come on, let's go. Don't see anybody. What? We can't go in there? Ugh, we can't get... We gotta go through... Oh, I suppose we gotta go through that specific door. Oh, come on, that's annoying. Freaking long loading screens. Because they have to be picky about one door to give you a choice. Okay, enough wasting time. Here's the door. Let's go talk to Morty.
Right. Now's the time to join Mortimer. I won't be able to go back after...
Nothing left to
Here
do
we
as far as
go.
I know. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Blech. Okay. Do 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 do. Na 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 na. Come on. Sorry, out of all the complaints I could have about this game, the loading screens are really obnoxiously long. Come on. Come on, there we go.
Louis,
Mortimer.
I was expecting you. Do you feel
Who
better?
else?
Yes, don't worry, I'll be all right. I wanted to speak with you about what's going to happen next.
World
but before
domination.
we begin, I would like you to give me back the Holy Lance, please. Now that Gregory is gone, you won't be needing it anymore, and I prefer to put it back in its place.
I don't know if we can lime our way out of this. Might as well
I no
try.
longer have it. Didn't Monsieur Bonaparte give it back to you?
No. So, the rascal stole it from you, did he?
Just in case.
It's not something I'm proud to admit, but yes, he thought I was trying to rob you and that it would compromise the conference.
How typical of him. This conference will have been one of the most eventful I've ever known.
I'll just have to take your word for it.
Before I get to why we're here, you must know that I've been watching you very closely over these past few days.
And I know
I
you're
was
lying.
impressed by your intervention to prevent Peru from killing himself. You remind me of myself when I was starting out. As for the door of my crypt, no one had ever found out how to open it before you.
I'm
You
just that
committed
good.
a serious mistake in proving unable to tell your sisters apart, causing the death of the most
Yeah, out of all the smart things I've done,
I
that was the
remain
dumbest.
proud of what you achieved for me by falsifying that letter to the Pope on behalf of Piaggi, because I know that was not an easy task.
It was
But
so
the
hard I
important thing is
didn't
that you
even do
escaped
half the puzzle.
worst with Volner, because he could have killed you when you were in the guise of Piaggi.
Yes, it was a bit touch and go.
Which leads me to a chat about what I envisage for you now. You are the chosen one, Louis. The one I've been waiting for all this time.
Thank you,
We are going to be able to become one.
I don't quite follow you.
Be proud of yourself, son, for you are the one I have chosen to be my next mortal coil.
Of course.
What about me?
Am I imagining things, or did he just tell me to my face that he's going to eat me?
Unfortunately, no, you won't survive the transfer.
course I
but I
won't.
want you to know that I only select my bodies from my own children, and that you are the one who has impressed me most. It's far from being my first time, as you can imagine. I didn't think it was possible to find a more promising son than dear Augustus. You can be very proud of yourself.
Wait a second,
Wait,
hang on.
Augustus?
Do you realize what you're saying? Are you insane?
Oh, come, my son. Let's not end everything on a bad note, please.
Son of a bitch! He's not going to get away with this so easily. I must make him get closer to me.
Come now, don't complicate things.
Wait, I have something else you want.
Well, look at that. You found it. Decidedly, you are very resourceful, Louis. You impress me right up to the very last. For Al-Azif, I am willing to get closer.
Hit the scumbag with the nail. Hit the scumbag with the lance. I've got no choice. The nail? What nail? I've got no choice. This is the only thing I can do. He knows what we're planning, too.
No! No, not now!
He's gonna laugh in my face.
You've ruined everything!
Like father, like son.
I thought he said the lance wouldn't work. Okay, that was literally the only thing I could have done. So did I just save myself, or what the hell happened, actually? I thought Emma left. Was that really it? Did it just end there?
As Mortimer had planned, Napoleon Bonaparte sold Louisiana to the United States after purchasing
that was it.
from Spain.
Okay, now we're on the
Bonaparte
where are they
continued
now
his political
segment.
and military ascension until he proclaimed himself emperor. He went on to invade a large part of Central Europe. The legend of Napoleon persisted after his death, conferring on the emperor the role of Messiah for France.
Huh.
Remaining very popular, George Washington put an end to the various internal rebellions without violence and re-established trade agreements with Great Britain. Upon his death, he became a national hero and left an entire nation in a state of mourning. On his return to Spain, Manuel Godoy proceeded to give Louisiana up to France. Later on, he became the target of the Crown Prince of Spain, Ferdinand VII. The latter gave no respite to his mother's lover, going as far as condemning him
Oh, that's
to
right.
exile.
He was in the middle of
He
an affair of
confiscated
sorts.
all of Manuel's titles and possessions, as well as those of his mistress, Pepita. Pursued, they ended up living out their last years in France in poverty and anonymity. The influence von Wollner had over King Frederick William ironically ended up working against him. The sovereign thrust him into increasing repression until the end of his reign. Von Wollner became the object of the people's hatred, was therefore stripped of his titles and land by the new king, and died in poverty to general indifference in the Prussian countryside.
Well,
The Duchess, enabling Great Britain to build closer ties with the United States on both political and commercial fronts, was her last diplomatic feat. She gradually withdrew from the English court and had to retire in the country, supported by her ever-present friend, the author Jane Austen. Some say that the Duchess inspired Austen's novel Emma, which became a bestseller in 1816. His Eminence,
okay.
having
Sorry, that caught me
successfully
off guard.
accomplished his mission, returned to His Holiness the Pope with full honors. Although all his ambitions had become possible, to the stupefaction of his entourage, the Cardinal preferred to retire to his Tuscan monastery, far from all political and diplomatic entanglements. Fascinated by the techniques involved in exorcism and demonology, he dedicated the last years of his life to the study of Inquisition reports.
Okay.
On his return from Paris, Peyrou resigned from his posting as judge at the revolutionary courts. He withdrew to the south of France with his daughter until his death.
Short,
No
but at
more
least he
was
lived.
ever heard of Lord William Mortimer. His sudden disappearance was the subject of conversations in the European courts, but only for a few months.
Did we actually kill him? I thought he said the lance wouldn't work. Or I guess he said he didn't need it. Huh. Well, good to know we did pick the first lance. I defeated Lord Mortimer using the Holy Lance. I brought Al-Azif back to the continent. I left the island safe and sound. The last move. 16 chapters. I think I said 18 last time and I was wrong. The Council of Big Bad Wolf game. That was the end of Chapter 5. Checkmate. Okay, that was a lot shorter than I thought, but I suppose... Oh, that was it. Huh. I'm not complaining, I'm just caught off guard. Wow. Huh. Well, I suppose that's really where it ends. No, okay, so that was the Council, and wow, that was an interesting game. I like, Telltale style point and click, but with RPG elements that do make the game feel more exciting. I felt really tense when it's like, oh, I've got no items, and I gotta figure out these last few decisions, and, just pick them correctly. And that led to some fun, tense moments, and great storytelling from the many different characters and how they interacted with each other and how you interacted with them based on your own skills, which I think was really cool. I think being a detective was a good route because a lot of characters were subject to my detective skills, like Emily and Peru. So yeah, I think that was a good move. But yeah, but even things like occultism, where subterfuge came one of my favorite skills because just picking lock boxes to get a bunch of stuff that I lost track of or didn't use properly or didn't know how to use. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Technical issues abound, some of the faces just look freaking terrifying just because of how it's animated, but it's not a bad art style. It looks really good. It's just jarring, especially at first. And, technical issues everywhere. It got framing when you were running around sometimes. Janky control-wise, the loading screens. God, some of those just felt like they took forever. And, you really start to notice them a lot longer when you're sitting there in silence going, it's like, well, now what? When's it going to kick in? And I've only experienced the one crash at, near the end of Chapter 4. But, that's not too bad considering. So, yeah. The Council. It's a really good game. This is another game I'm going to have to, recommend to everybody. This is a game I'm going to tell, a lot of friends to just play the game. There's one I think I can convince him to play it, and while I'm watching him play, so maybe, maybe guide him along the way if he gets confused. It'd be fun. Okay, so yeah, there's not really much else to say on that. I've kind of voiced my opinions on how cool this game is along the way. So yeah, it makes me really want to try it again, maybe choose a different path line, and with some of my future knowledge and seeing how it plays out, like, can I save Emily this time? Can I conserve my items better to do, do better in the end game? Can I figure out Piaggi's weird hand tattoo puzzle? So yeah, not much to say there because that pretty much wraps up the story. The Council, it's been a lot of fun. Big Bad Wolf Studios and Focus Home, you did a great job with this. And yeah, I really liked this game. No real good ending shot to end on, so that's where we're just going to wrap up. So, with that all being said, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Well, hold on. Maybe I'm not done yet because now thinking about the end. Yeah, the ending, okay, it just snuck up on me. I'm not complaining. I'm just surprised. But I suppose that's what happens. And I wonder, like, if I don't talk to, actually thinking about some things in Chapter 4, if I don't spend so much time talking to Mortimer about being a demon, could I have saved Sarah in time? Would she even have been in danger if I had saved Emily? There's a lot of questions like that make me really interested to do a replay. And, just interesting storytelling, interesting world building of, like, alternate history style things. And yeah, sorry, I went with Mortimer for the longest time, but I guess that was probably the only major railroady decision you could have made. Because attack him with the nails, what would that have done? Or attack him with the lance, but apparently it was the right lance, so there's that. No wrath from the dad, but I suppose if he would have played a bigger role in the ending if we had brought him with us. I don't know. Just a lot of interesting, cool things that make you think more about this game. A lot of interesting puzzles, hard puzzles like the the crucifixion circle, or that's freaking Bible verses that you have to read to find secret messages. Cool, interesting puzzles, just really hard at times. Especially that Piaggi tattoo one. I could not figure that one out, so I had to skip it. I'm just rambling at this point. But yeah, just really a cool game. And I am curious to know, well, what happened with Louis? The only question I didn't get is, what happened to Louis after all this? What happened to Louis? Everyone else got a where are they now thing, those who lived, so what about Louis? Unless maybe Mortimer really did take... No, he couldn't have. I don't know, but we're all around. It's been a really interesting, really exciting game. Even if you've watched this all the way to the end, I recommend playing this game because this seems like it can go in so many more directions, probably more so than any other Telltale game or choice-based game, as far as I can tell. Mortimer talked highly about, like, the illusion of choice that man should have in order for them to progress, make them think it's their idea, etc., etc. But the illusion of choice, and that's a really good, how Mortimer talks about choice in humans, even though he's the overseer, it kind of fits with these point-and-click style choice games because there is an illusion of choice to everything. I'm sure, certain things won't cause a major snowball effect to, end certain ways, but, there are enough decisions or enough in the moment things. It's only upon replays that you really start to see that kind of facade get, kind of that facade to wash away. But with this, who knows? I don't know. Depending on your skill sets, depending on what you find, because there were some manuscripts I never found, and, pages I never found or collected, and consequences I never saw. And probably a lot. Like, what if I had stuck with home? Or what if I had brought their dad into this? Would I have then had, like, the last confrontation with home and then, maybe done the same thing? Maybe it would have ended differently? I don't know. So, it's just a really interesting game. Yeah, even if you watch me all the way through, I highly suggest playing this yourself because the decisions, the puzzles, the story, the characters, the writing, it's all great. And now I kind of wish there was more, but I don't know how they would do a sequel to this game. I don't know how they would do a sequel to the Council specifically, but I would like to see more of these point-and-click games with those light RPG elements, because that really just adds another layer that could really, really advance things. So yeah, that's about it. I've rambled on long enough for probably like 8+ minutes. So yeah, that's pretty much where we wrap up. So, I'm losing my mind. Okay, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe and all that. This is Timmara, signing off. And thank you for watching me play The Council.